And welcome back to part 9 and the last part of What If Naruto Had a Zanpakuto, the Ryujinn Jakka edition. Last time we left, and I want to be sure where I left off here. Last time we basically left off with the war arc starting up. Naruto and Killer Bee were both sent to the, I can't remember the name of it, we'll call it the Turtle Island, for Naruto to do his fox training. And he did it pretty effectively. He had not reactivated or activated. He had not gone into Ninetales mode, so Minato and Kushina both showed up. They probably even talked and had a cup of tea or something with Ryujinn Jakka. It's like, well, thank you for helping our son all this time, Ryujinn.
It has been my honor and privilege. I will continue to aid him as best I can.
And the fox is like, come back! Stop ignoring me! And finally Naruto comes and kicks his ass. And so we cut to the actual war itself. And in the actual war, up until Naruto shows up on the battlefield, not a lot would be changing. In fact, pretty much it would be going verbatim as it did in the original. As Deidara would have got more or less killed by Killer Bee as he did here, so he could still be brought back. Honestly, everyone who gets brought back could be brought back here. Obito is really the only one who, sorry guys, she knows, is the only one around really, but the only difference here is that we have Orochimaru and Kabuto. And one of the big things that happens is that Sasuke, who is still trapped in the village, in his cell, wondering what's going on, just having time to think about everything that's happened here, he hears the sounds of the few shinobi who are left to, guard him, being going, and someone just sees a body come on the floor, and a cloaked figure steps through the door. It's like, who are you? And the hood comes off, and it's Kabuto. Ah, Sasuke, good to see you again. What do you want? Oh, it's not what I want. I'm here on behest of Lord Orochimaru. He's the one who sent me for you. Orochimaru, that's right, Sasuke. Unfortunately, we never had a chance to get properly acquainted, nor did Lord Orochimaru have a chance to really bestow his true gift upon you. The years of training that were lost can be regained again, Sasuke. He offers you a chance, freedom out of this place, as well, and placed by his side. He will help you truly take your revenge on this entire village for what it did to your clan. Because Kabuto and Orochimaru are very well informed, so they're pretty damn sure they know Itachi's dead at this point. And if not, Obito or Zetsu would let them know. Sasuke looks down and he thinks about it for a moment, because he's been contemplating what he's going to really do with his life at this point, because Itachi's dead. Most of his revenge, if not all of his revenge, is gone at this point. So what does a guy do when he had it, and Naruto's words come back to him again after all this time? Like, what will you do after you get your revenge? What will you have left? And Sasuke kind of just thinks about on it for a little bit. And he thinks about what the village did, and then he thinks about Naruto and Sakura and Kakashi. Naruto never given up on him. And he looks up at Kabuto and he just goes, "No, get me out of here." It's like, very well done. There's some place we need to stop first. It's like, oh, Itachi's eyes. I need my brother's eyes. Your brother's eyes. And he explains how Itachi gave his eyes up to try to protect the village. Naruto brought him in, and my guess is they would not bring it into battle, risking it being stolen. No, the eyes are probably still here. And so through a little bit of, manipulation tactics, Sasuke actually using his Sharingan again for gathering information. They're able to find the location of the eyes. It's like, oh, impressive. And now I need you to implant them, to put them in my head. It's like, what? I'm sorry, Sasuke, what? Yeah, you heard me, unless you can't do it. Oh, I can do it, but I can do it definitely. But why do you ask such a thing? This is probably something that an Orochimaru and Kabuto might not know right at the gate, that the whole how to gain the Eternal Mangekyo. We don't know for certain, at least at that point, if they knew that or not. It's possible they did. I wouldn't put it past Orochimaru for knowing, but let's just say for the sake of argument that they don't know. Sasuke asks for it because, it'll help be stronger and help. And Sasuke starts to play like, help me aid a Lord Orochimaru. And so very well, we have time. And Kabuto does a quick surgery, implants the eyes. And here's the thing, is that we see how quickly like Kakashi took to getting that new eye. And that was Rin. My guess is the reason that Sasuke was actually bedridden was twofold. One, it was 2 whole eyes. And 2, Obito's not a med ninja. So he probably was not the most easy surgery, whereas Kabuto very much is a med ninja. So, he just kind of just, in like Sasuke's doing his best, still hurts. He just, now how do you feel now, Sasuke? And he just sees it, and he can just feel the chakra now coursing through. His chakra reserves maybe double or whatever. Double from his Genin status days, which he still had a lot of chakra back then, but now he's got a lot more chakra. I feel. And the Eternal Mangekyo activates as he's probably, while he didn't truly activate his Mangekyo upon hearing the death of Itachi, there was still probably enough grief coming with that he could still activate it. And so he still has the Eternal. And it's like, we must get out of here. Yeah, we do. Otherwise, while most of the ninja are out of the village, we still aren't safe here. No, we're not. And he suddenly, all of a sudden, an arm grabs Kabuto. He's gonna, what? Yeah. And he didn't know how he knew how to instinctively do it. He just kind of felt the need, or felt the ability. And so Sasuke, just grabs him and says, now that you've given me what I wanted, I don't need you or Lord Orochimaru at all. No, I was like, you. And Kabuto's like, you son of. I was like, I'm not. And he just Amaterasu's and just burns him right there in his hand until there's nothing. Like, and just burns him alive. And so Sasuke basically gets a change of clothes and he heads out onto the battlefield. Now, as I said, and someone did bring it up in the last video, Sasuke might have an Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. It might have boosted his chakra reserves up a bit. He might even be able to do a near perfect Susanoo. But he does not. He's not going to be able to keep it up very long. Sasuke is still very much in the, oh no, I am the very weaks right now. Meanwhile, we cut back to everything going on the battlefield. You have Naruto's clones roasting Zetsu bodies, even going after Edo Tensei's, and essentially, with Ryujinn Jakka, he really doesn't need to do much. He's using his Rasen Inferno, because the thing about the Edo Tensei's is, yes, they are technically able to just regenerate from anything, but they all have ceilings or control tags in them. We see the kunais with the tags that control them in their bodies. In theory, you should be able to incinerate an Edo Tensei, and as long as that kunai in their bodies is destroyed, that should at least break the hold on them, or their connection to the world. In theory, though, if you were to annihilate all the matter of them completely, they shouldn't be able to come back, but that's semantics a little bit. Anyway, Naruto's still incinerating a bunch of Zetsus. Ultimately, him and Killer Bee do come across Nagato and Itachi. And Itachi still did implant I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name. He still implanted the Genjutsu, which would snap him out of that in Naruto, which did ultimately activate and break him out of his Edo Tensei control. They worked together to take down Nagato, who couldn't take down Naruto to begin with. They can't take down Naruto here. And ultimately, you get Itachi confronting Orochimaru and very easily taking care of him, trapping him in a Genjutsu. In fact, I could honestly see him maybe taking out Orochimaru, making sure he's too dangerous to live. So while he is dying, or being torn apart, he does one more Amaterasu and just burns Orochimaru to death. In theory, I could see that happening. But here, I think he just leaves Orochimaru to his fate. there's not much to say on that. Orochimaru couldn't beat Itachi when he was alive. He's definitely not going to be able to beat him while he's dead. So you then and that, by the way, that does still come after the summoning of Madara, who, yeah, that whole fight with Madara and A, the Kages, that would go the same. But B, the ninja army and the Naruto clones, that doesn't go very well in Naruto's favor still, because my whole concept in my head with Naruto and a Zanpakuto is, if you were to disperse the Naruto clones, that's less chakra going around, and it's still technically parts of the Zanpakuto being split as well, so you weaken the effects of the Zanpakuto, and therefore are unable to use Bankai on the battlefield. Even with something like Kyuubi mode there, it still would not be a very advantageous scenario. Still, ultimately, Naruto and the gang get, defeated. Madara goes, takes on the Kages, nearly kills the Kages. And this is actually a very big change that comes up. There is no Sasuke Team Hawk Heavy, whatever you want to call it. There's no Karin to save the Kage, Tsunade. And by extension, the other Kages as well. Therefore, and Tsunade was split in half. She was still able to survive too, but she was split in half. While she was able to survive that doesn't mean she would be able to just live. No, she would eventually bleed out and die. I can't remember if it was a tree branch that was on top of her, or if like Katsuya was trying to keep her alive. Give me 1 second. What's that? I'm gonna just double check that real quick. Tsunade. Let's see. Tsunade Naruto. Okay. What did you? Because I vaguely remember. Like Katsuyu's like little tiny versions of herself were trying to keep Tsunade alive, but I don't fully remember. Let's see. I don't care about the new era. No one cares about Boruto. That's okay. Let's be very fair. That's not entirely true that no one cares about Boruto, but the majority of us don't, especially us who are big Naruto fans, don't care that much about Boruto. Okay, the birth of the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Is it that one or the Fourth Shinobi World War Climax? Maybe that's what it was. Yes. Oh, that's right. Okay, so she did summon Katsuyu in her injured state. Kage tried to stop, and that's fulfilled. So despite being bisected in battle, is able to summon Katsuyu. She asks him to bring the Kages closer so that she can try to save their lives. Tsunade is later found by Orochimaru and, after Orochimaru, Suigetsu, Hozuki, and Karin. She has used up almost all of her chakra on the other Kages, now lacks energy to even speak after assuring Katsuyu that he would want to help. Orochimaru has... Okay, so basically, I knew I was remembering something off about that. So basically, she actually is saving the other Kages, and because of that, she's running out of the ability to save herself. Hypothetically, she could have saved... I mean, let's be flat out honest here. If because she had, if I'm not mistaken, the Genesis Rebirth Seal still activated, you should have had Katsuyu melt the tree that was on top of you, if it was, or just heal yourself, bisect itself, and then send the slugs. Either way, you would basically get Tsunade sacrificing yourself here to save the other Kages. So you still get Gaara, Mei, let's try that. It's Onoiki, Gaara, and Mei basically being saved, and Tsunade is the one ultimately gives her life to do that. So there would be no Tsunade later on, not that she would play a very important factor here anyway. You eventually do get the confrontation between Obito, Killer Bee, Naruto, and eventually then Guy, Kakashi, and then eventually the rest of the Shinobi Alliance. And that does initially go the same. Naruto tries using Ryujinn Jakka. Unfortunately, Obito can just phase right through it. And then he summons up the Tail Beasts. Kakashi and Guy are doing the best they can, but unfortunately... he's not, they can only do so much. Naruto does ultimately earn the respect of Kurama, as he did originally, and this allows him to go into Kurama chakra mode. He also is able to overwhelm all the tail beasts, before ultimately losing the chakra mode. This is at this point that the Shinobi Alliance shows up. Obito, this wouldn't be the time where Shinobi Alliance showed up. They continue to fight again. This time Naruto basically is inside, like we said, you see in the original, gets one of his clones gets sucked inside the his distortion world, and then sees Naruto probably with a more enhanced Rasengan, not just a maybe like a tail beast bomb, or maybe a Rasen Shuriken or whatever, or maybe just a really powerful Rasengan, but he just smacks him in the face, breaks his mask. Ultimately, the Shinobi Alliance shows up, as well as our old friend Sasuke showing up. It is at this point that Obito does summon forth the Sixth Path's chakra, or summon forth the Ten Tails, absorbs it into it, and becomes the pseudo Ten Tails. He said this. So now all their attacks are kind of just phasing off. There is no Edo Tensei Minato none of the Hokages are around. So they are in a little bit of a pickle. But Naruto does have Sage Mode. Sasuke activates his Susanoo. He doesn't get to the complete Susanoo, but he gets to the near perfect Susanoo. Activates things like Amaterasu, Susanoo. He tries his best. He explains that, I had a lot. After you said Itachi was killed, I had a lot of time to think about it. If I am going to honor my clan, bring them back, I need to start making some amends. So Sasuke and Naruto team up. Naruto also activates the Sage Mode, which is a big boon, because I'm sure he would eventually figure that out. But ultimately, Sasuke is too new to his Sharingan to be able to help out too much. So Naruto decides to go full on, go all out. He's in Kurama mode. He's got Sage Mode. And finally, he just goes, Bankai! And so that would be really cool. His fox cloak, his full Kurama fox cloak, and even when he goes in like full like tail beast mode, takes on this fire. It looks like he's actually made more of like flames, not just pure energy. But I've been made aware of this technique, Naruto. You won't be able to stop me that easy. And obviously the Gyuubi clones come out, and they're attacking people and attacking Ninja. But Naruto gets down on the ground, gets down on the ground and just says, they're not the only one. You're not the only one in the army. And he just sticks the sword into the ground. Now, I'll be honest, realistically for Naruto, realistically though, in terms of techniques Naruto would probably be using, this one actually seems like the least likely, because you kind of need to stack up a big body count to be using it. But that's when the Zetsu clones came in, so he's got a bunch of those under his belt. And someone did ask, and people have been kind of looking forward to it. So it would kind of be a disservice not to at least figure out a scenario where he could use this technique. By the way, at this point, Madara shows up on the field, and he's watching, and he is surprised, like the level of power this one boy has. It does remind him of Hashirama, but in a different way. And so he just goes, Zanka no Tachi. I'll do it in the old man's voice. Zanka no Tachi South, great burial rings of the 10 trillion and fire dead, which is the translation. Or Zanka no Tachi. Oh God, I've never actually tried to pronounce it myself. Minami Kaka Juna no Kushi Daishojin. And all of a sudden, the flaming Zetsu corpses come out and do battle. Meanwhile, Naruto then just shoots back up thanks to Kurama and just comes in with the attack. And because he's got Sage Mode mixed in there, this attack, he could actually hurt Obito with. And Obito's not stupid. He's aware of this, but he brings out his 5-chakra sword, which thanks should be enough, except for the fact the Zanka no Tachi is 15 million degrees Celsius. So, and I didn't have someone confirm it, but I had someone agree that that's probably what it is in Celsius because it's Japan. So anyway, he brings the sword out and just slices right through it without any difficulties. Like, what? That's right. You might not. I don't think you have all the information on this, Obito. And then, it just incinerates even more for Naruto. Just finally just comes in and basically comes in for the kill. Obito now has to try to go. He's using his truth is even ours of Naruto just slicing him in half with no problem. until he ultimately just Zanka no Tachi North Tenshi Kaijin, and then and before Obito even reacts, just gone, just and he's just dead, like he's straight out dead. Because one of the things that I believe Obito couldn't use his Sharingan abilities in the 6 paths mode. I think that was one of the that was a big thing. And Madara is the kind of shocked this. Naruto quickly reseals the Bankai. He kind of huffs a little bit because he's been using a lot of his ability. And once again, Sasuke sees Naruto and he's just like, not surprised. I haven't been able to train in over 3 years. Yeah, I won't fall. I'm not going to fall. I'll fall to the. I'm not going to fall behind you anymore, Naruto. Believe it. Oh crap! Now I'm quoting him. And it's all looking until one of the Zetsus comes out. The Black Zetsu steals the Rinnegan from the corpse. Like, oh dear. Unfortunately, this doesn't look good. So calls a White Zetsu over and plants it in the White Zetsu. And is like, you know what to do. That's right. And then just brings back Madara, who then gets a hold, and everyone's shocked by this. Then he gets a hold of he gets a hold of both Rinnegan, more or less, because one of the Rinnegan Zetsu already had on him, and then they had to steal the other one from Obito. Now, luckily they have access to both of these. So Madara quickly goes trying to reabsorb all of the tail beasts that came out. Naruto again has to quickly get involved, so you have 6 paths. Madara again. Naruto once again goes Bankai. Unfortunately, with this now, Madara and him are kind of just squaring off a little bit. Naruto's like, I won't let you get away with this. And then he basically, using Bankai with a tail beast ball, creates a tail beast Zanka Dotachi ball, if you will, of just death and death. And so he just kind of launches it, and it expands out into supernova. It is still chakra, though, so he's able to use the Preta Path to absorb it, but he can still feel the heat coming off that. Just only for him to basically see Naruto there and just barely dodged the blade. Only for him to, because he's right next to him, feel the heat, and it just evaporates his staff. So he uses Shinra Tensei to blast him back, and now they're duking it out again, basically in the sky, because Kurama can kind of give him a little bit of that push for aerial combat. Using shadow clones, he quickly pops out a couple clones. He can't use too many, but because Kurama's there amping his chakra, he can use a couple with Bankai, and they're basically crowding. He blasts them again with Shinra Tensei, but then Naruto comes in again with the minute, because Naruto knows the weakness of Shinra Tensei, so the minute he sees Shinra Tensei, he uses North one more time, and you just because if you saw the anime, you know just how intense that was, and Madara is barely there. He's like basically straight down the. And it's not like he just got cut in half. I mean, he could theoretically heal from. No. Again, all of this is gone. So, and because he basically seared the flesh clean, he welded the flesh. Madara is just in shock and aghast. It's like no. The Zetsu's like, this kid. We know we need to. We need to do something real quick. Unfortunately, they have the issue of other people being there, particularly Zetsu being there, or sorry, like Shikamaru and Kakashi. Basically, people who are going to keep Zetsu in check, particularly because Zetsu is a living shadow and Shikamaru can control shadows. We actually never knew how that would really play out. That'd be interesting to see how they would have confronted each other. But he just, Shadow Clan uses and say, so you're a living shadow. Unfortunately, shadows are my clan's specialty. No, mother. And then Naruto just comes in again. And Madara still has the limbo clones, but the limbo clones are now kind of phasing out because his life force is just dying. He's trying to regenerate, but he can kind of do it, but he barely is able to. And even then, the wounds he got from Guy did not theoretically hit a vital, like a heart or brain area. Had they done that, I don't think he would have survived that. But he survived Guy's onslaught ultimately. And Naruto just like, yeah, it's like, be like all things in the universe and turn to ash. And he basically just has a Rasengan in one hand, and he's still in Bankai. And he's now back in Shikai. He's huffing and puffing. But he's got a Rasen Shuriken in one hand. And he just whips it into like this infernal frenzied fire death ball. And then it incinerates and dead. And Zetsu's just, no. And Kaguya can't come back now. The Rinnegan is completely gone. And any vessel and the tail beasts once again are released because that's kind of how they work. So the tail beast get brought back. It's like, no. And Zetsu, unfortunately, is kind of a more abstract being. He can't, as far as we know, he can't really be killed. He got sealed away with Kaguya after it was all said and done. And so Naruto, and the gang trying to figure out what to do with him. Ultimately, they decide on a sealing technique to seal him away. And yeah. That is ultimately how the war kind of comes to a conclusion. There's still the issue of Sasuke. They hold the funeral for Lady Tsunade. Ultimately, Kakashi became the next Hokage anyway. But yeah, this time Tsunade's not around in the aftermath. They honor her. Sasuke is basically given a pardon, and he definitely feels he needs to try to make amends for everything he did. Orochimaru is still at large, but because somehow Kabuto kind of found himself with Izanagi, so would I think Orochimaru. Hell, Orochimaru is still technically a villain by the end of by Boruto, but he's more like a neutral evil. He's a lot less villainous. You still wouldn't trust him per se. But he will lend a hand to the good people a lot more often now than he would back in the day. That's where I think he kind of ultimately ends up after Izanagi, where he isn't causing trouble per se, at least not initially. He still holds out for Sasuke and the Sharingan, but he knows he's got, and Sasuke knows about the influence, but now his will of fire is reignited. And so he goes out of his way to, train in the village, do some wandering, but train in the village again. He does not have the Rinnegan here, so that's a big problem. If we were to go into Boruto. I will say this, though. Having Ryujinn Jakka going into Boruto, given some of the fights I know in Boruto, like Momoshiki and Jingen, Naruto would not need Baryon mode at all for Jingen, just because hey, Jingen's gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna just try to incinerate you. Ryujinn Zanpakuto Tachi, the giant pillar just incinerate upon contact, just cool, just incinerate his ass. Momoshiki just like, okay, this was a mistake. But no, so as it ends, all the pairings you get would still happen. I honestly don't see anything different with the pairings here. And yeah, unless there's something I maybe overlooked, which is possible. It happens. Sometimes a little more often than I like, but it happens. I don't see anything real different happening here. Maybe at some point, like Ryujinn Jakka gets passed down to Boruto once Boruto finally learns to mature up a little bit, and Naruto decides to fully retire as a shinobi. But other than that, yeah, that is the end of the Naruto Zanpakuto What If for the Ryujinn Jakka edition. Join us on Wednesday when we start our next Naruto What If. This time, and I can just say it because you can check the poll who won. What if Tsunade and Jiraiya adopted and raised Naruto is the next one we'll be doing for the Naruto What Ifs. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.